Hello, my name is Walter Smiley Smythe, and I want to show you the AI navigation system in Unreal Engine. Let's get on with it, shall we? Good, share. Yes, okay. So let's start a new project. It's going to be a blueprint one because we're not bothered about the C++ code right now. And we're going to create a third-person project. No starter content, so make sure that this one has got no starter content because we're trying to keep it as small as possible. I'm calling mine my nav demo. Remember to set the folder path for a writable folder for your project, and let's do that thing. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make that a little bit bigger. We're going to create some new levels and stuff. So go to your maps folder, go create a level. We'll call that, let's call this circle. We double click on that one. Keep selected, although we haven't actually done anything with it. Okay, so we've got an empty level, which is exactly what we want. So let's start by creating a cube static mesh actor. Oh dear. We probably want a skylight. So let's go to lights, skylight, and directional light. And our static mesh actor, we want it to be, let's set its location at 0, 0, 0. So that's the center of our world, which is good. And let's set the scale to, I don't know, 4,000 by, make sure I'm getting the correct. Yeah, so 4,000 by 4,000. So what we've got here is essentially a flat space that is 4,000 by 4,000, which is all we want really. We can go back to our map. What we probably want is to change the color of this thing because it's a little bit too bright. But maybe we'll do that in a second. So let's just make sure we've got an actual workable thing. So we can start the game and run around and yes. That'll do. Ooh, that was loud, wasn't it? Yeah. It was weird they didn't actually. Oh, okay. Normally gives you a whoosh. Right, whatever. We don't need this guy in here really. Let's just stick a mesh in there. Not mannequin meshes. Ooh, template floor. Interesting. Didn't know there was a template floor. But let's not use that one for now. The 1 meter cube, just for reference to sort of say where it is, and we'll make that at 0, 0, 0 again, and then just raise it up a bit so we know where the center of the world is. Let's raise it up by 100. Obviously 1 meter cube is 100 centimeters up. Okay, so this is our world. We probably want to stick a material on here. Let's do that now. Let's go to third person BP. Let's create a new folder. We call that mats. And then in here, new material. We'll call this Floor grey. Normally wouldn't this. You can obviously just copy an existing material if you need to, but let's just do this by hand. So if you want a base color, what you can do is you can press the 4 key and click in the graph here. Maximize that for now. Now we can click that into there. So if we choose a color, let's go with a sort of lightish blue kind of deal, and apply that and save it. Oh, actually, no, let's make it grey because I called it grey. You can usually sort of take all of the colours to roughly the same. Thing gets kind of greyish. We can lighten it up a bit. Let's use that. So that's our floor material, and all we need to do is then drag that onto our floor. Materials are good fun in Unreal Engine if you want to play with those. That's good. So anyway, so the circle map, the next thing we need to do is we need to make sure we've got a volume and a nav mesh bounds volume. So we stick that in the map and we go onto this little geometry editing thing here and we drag out the extents of it. You can always type in the values here, but I like to do it by eye, I suppose. And what we're trying to do really is just make it big enough so we've got like a space that we can do some navigation on. You know, we can get enough characters in there to do decent sized navigation on. Can be a tad fiddly. Oop, no, I don't want to do that. I want to just do the faces. Out so you don't get like vertex editing and stuff in. Let's just do that one a little bit more. I think that should do us. Again, you know, you can just edit it so that it's a certain size if you want to. And then when we've finished, go off the geometry editing mode by going back to place. And we've now got oh, actually, let's just edit it so that it's got a little bit of height, just in case. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure, you can see the bottom corners, just make sure it's settled into the world a bit. What you'll get is it builds the navigation mesh. So if you press P on the world, the navigation mesh bounds volume is the thing that says how big is the navigation area. Yeah, so we can kind of center it around our cube in this way. And all I want is enough space so that anything that needs to use the navigation mesh has got a way to run around. Let's save our level. So that's done our navigation setup stuff. What we need now is some AI. Okay, so simple thing here is we make a duplicate of the third person character and we call this well, let's call it, what will we call it? AI nav character. Now we're going to actually create two of these things, but one of them needs to be slightly different, and we're not worried about that for now. What we're going to do is we're going to also require a few things for the AI, so let's create those right now. The first one is that we need a blueprint. Where's the... We've changed around where the AI stuff goes. Really? Oh, there it is. It's down at the bottom there. Yeah. We want a behavior tree. We'll call this simple BT because it really is that simple. And we'll have a scroll down, Blackboard, and we'll call that simple BB because that is what it is. So if we open up the behavior tree, just make sure it's got the Blackboard asset selected as simple BB. We'll go to that one and we'll create a new key. It's going to be a vector. So add that one in. Why is it not adding it? Save that in case it's... Oh dear. Save the Blackboard, the behavior tree as well. Let's save them all. Wow, that was strange. So anyway, we'll call this target location. We're creating a new vector key and we're calling it target location. I'm just going to check and see if there is some weird okay. Ideal, is it? Let's just close those down and start the simple BT up again. Make sure you've selected that one. Edit it. Yeah, okay, so it's actually associated with it. Some weird bug going on there, I think. So just make sure that your behavior tree is pointing to the correct Blackboard and that the Blackboard's got a target location in, because that's what we want to do. We want to be able to enter this value, one of our other assets. So the next thing we need to do is to create an AI controller. So let's go to blueprints, blueprint class, drop this down, go for AI. We're doing an AI controller. We'll call this AI nav controller. Now, there's a fair bit of blueprint code we need to do that. So the first thing we probably want to do is set it up so that the character is using the correct controller. The way to do that is to go into your character, make sure you're in the event graph, select, you type in AI at the top here and go to AI controller class. And we're going to call it, what did I call that? AI nav controller, didn't I? And make sure you've got select place in the world or spawn, because we are actually going to spawn it and we're going to place a copy just to test it. So that's our character. Let's stick that guy here. Let's actually do the behavior tree now, because it's actually quite simple. We do a selector, and that main selector is going to do a sequence. We're actually going to do two sequences. The first sequence, we're going to add a condition or a decorator that says I think it's compare BB entries. Yeah, okay. That's not compare BB entries, so let's delete that one. We want to say if it's set, if a particular variable is set, but I can't remember. Oh, it's that one, isn't it? Yeah, okay, so we basically want to say, let's make that value change. Observer aborts. We don't need any of the observer abort. I suppose we could do observer aborts low priority. So with this condition, what we're saying is if the key called target location is set, basically if we set a value in that vector to move to, then we're going to move to target location. Let's call that. We're going to create a move to node, and it's going to move to target location. So that will basically move if we've got a target set. And the target location, you can give it an acceptable radius. Well, whatever, we'll leave it at 5 for now and see if that works. Otherwise, we're going to do this sequence, and this sequence will just wait for 5 seconds. So when I say simple behavior tree, I really mean simple behavior tree. So essentially, if we've got a target to go to, we're going to go to it. Otherwise, we're going to stand there. And that's it. So simple behavior tree, simple backboard with one vector in called target location. And that's our main AI nav controller. So let's test that one out. If we want to, should we test it? Yeah, we probably should do. So let's start out by testing the character by adding another event for on begin play. Now this is just for testing purposes, so we need a new variable. So we add the variable here, and we'll change its type to vector, and we'll change its name to target location. Make it public, so we click the eyedropper to make that public. And what we're going to do is we're going to get controller, get our AI controller, and we're going to get a reference to this. We're going to get a reference to self. Remember that this character is going to be controlled by an AI controller. And then we're going to set black, get blackboard. And we're going to set value as vector. So literally, this is just for us to test. Actually, maybe we should call a function on that. Yeah, kind of prefer doing it that way. So let's just delete that for now. So well, let's go back to our AI controller. It's our AI nav controller. We go to the event graph. We have, we create a new, add an event, and we want an add custom event. So we'll call this set target location. And the event itself, we need to, where is it? The target location, we need a new input. So we need to add a vector input that is location. So when you create a custom event, what you're actually doing is saying that there's an interface for your class and it's got an event, and this is the event name. I do this fairly often in Blueprint just to sort of add extra functionality on top of the C++ code. But you don't need to do this, and we're only doing it for testing. So what we're going to do is we're going to, because this is the nav controller, we can get Blackboard, select, self. And then we'll set value as vector. The reason why I'm doing this here is we actually probably want to do this at some point anyway. So we need another variable, which is the name of, so it's a name, and it's the BB key name. It's the Blackboard key name. And the vector value is, well, let's just make the vector value the location of the thing that's passed in here. So we could call this function from anywhere that's got a handle to one of these controllers. Yeah, so we're getting our AI controller. We're going to call the function it set what's it called? Set target. Oh, of course it's not. So we're going to cast it to AI nav controller. And then we're going to say set target location. And we're going to pass the target location. So all of this is a long-winded way of saying we want to be able to set a value on the actor in the world. So we're going to drag one of these guys out. And let's make a thing for him to go towards. So if we all classes, there should be somewhere in the bottom here target point. So let's drag a target point into the world. Now I don't know whether he'll be able to get to there, but let's see. Let's make him go around the box a bit. So in theory, if we take this guy now, what we should be able to see is if we go to target location. Oh, yeah, okay. So we can do things two ways. We can select the target point, and let's just have that. Oops. Yeah, that's what I was doing. So we can copy that. We can copy the location, and we can paste it into the target point. Probably should have given it a name somewhere. There we go. Target location. So we paste into that. And let's just see if this. Oh, the other thing we need to do in our controller, because the controller is the thing that creates the brain, we need to make sure to run behavior tree. The behavior tree won't, well, we've only got one in the world, so it'll always select the one if we drop it down. We want to run our simple behavior tree. So what this will mean is that when we execute the character will instantiate its AI controller, in this case an AI nav controller. The AI nav controller will create a behavior tree in Blackboard and run it. We then, in our character, can set a target location for that Blackboard, and we should be able to get the guy moving towards that target point. So let's just make sure it's a simulate. And do we set... oh, that's a noisy thing, isn't it? Okay. So let's just check and make sure that that thing is actually being called. So F9 that. So we take a breakpoint on that. Oh, there's something capturing my F9 key. Lovely. What is that? It's probably some Windows thing. Toggle breakpoint. I will have to fix that so that the key actually does the thing. But anyway, yeah. Save and compile. Save that as well. Run. Okay, it does do it, but does it do it before we run the behavior tree? Because one of the problems you'll find when you're doing the AI stuff is if you haven't run the behavior tree before you do the Blackboard stuff, what will happen is that you'll set this value, it'll run the behavior tree. Well, you set this value, and of course there is no Blackboard. So you'd probably get an error somewhere. But what you want to do is you want to set this value after this behavior tree has been executed. So let's just fix that one up for now. By not doing it on begin play. What we should do is in our character do a delay node first. And let's call it, I don't know, 0.5. So what we're saying is after 0.5 seconds, then do the AI controller, cast it to an character and set that function, set target location. So that should give us enough time to run the behavior tree on and begin play, and then that function will write the value into the Blackboard. Well, the other thing we need to do, which might actually have been the problem, is that we need to give the default for the Blackboard key name, which you remember was target location. Wouldn't believe I'd done all of this stuff like hundreds of times before, would you? Well, anyway, it can't hurt to have a delay in there. Run it. And yes, okay, so we're reaching that. Disable the breakpoint for now. Our world, and he's moved there. So what that means is that you can, I really wish it wouldn't do that huge loud burk. What that means is you can expose values in the character and have it do that kind of thing in the world, but generally you probably don't want to do that by default, because twiddling with the values on the sort of a character in the world isn't necessarily the right way to do it. And we'll actually change all of this as we're going along. So good, we can be sure that at least our AI is capable of moving to a particular point, which is what we want to start off with.